Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we're looking ahead to 2026 on the Nintendo Virtual Boy. Yeah, the Virtual Boy. Yeah, Nintendo's latest hardware, the Virtual Boy. Rescue the kidnapped child on the island, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society rescues the kidnapped child with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. Mark, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Can I ask you a question, Patrick?
Sure.
Do the words white cheddar conjure a specific flavor in your mind
Yeah, it does.
that is different from
From just like cheddar?
cheddar?
Yeah, I imagine it. Well, first of all, usually white cheddar, I'm associating it with like popcorn specifically, but like it goes on as part of a like a chip flavoring, a snack flavoring.
Yes.
And it's always like a little bit chalkier
I know. That's what
and
I
a
was...
little bit sharper.
This is the problem I was having. If
Yeah.
I'm trying to describe what differentiates white cheddar
Yeah.
from another cheese flavor, because I agree, it is different, but how to explain that difference? And
Yes.
is white cheddar like like a blue raspberry type flavor? Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think so, because I think there actually is white cheddar cheese.
Uh-huh.
But it is possible that like our impressions of what a white cheddar flavor is on popcorn is unrelated to, you know, the white cheddar of like a block of white cheddar cheese.
That's what I'm. Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I'm getting at. Because isn't it? Because wouldn't they just be identical except for food dye?
You mean just like white versus yellow?
Uh-huh.
I mean, probably because a lot of like cheese flavoring on like potato chips or whatever is not actually cheese, right?
Sure.
But so many of the flavors, like most vanilla that we eat, isn't actually vanilla, right? It's like beaver secretions. Do you know this? The vanilla is like it's like a rodent, kind of. What's it puts out? It's a glandular thing.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
You were very close to doing like timeout hands to be like, no, we can't talk about this anymore. It was upsetting you too
No,
much.
I didn't know this. So just like a sack around their anus or something smells like vanilla.
Yeah, I think so. Or tastes like vanilla, which how anyone discovers that is a little bit of a mystery to me. And it may not be a beaver, but it's some sort of rodent animal. Someone fact check me on this, please. I believe it is true. Because, you know, like vanilla itself is
A plant, right?
it's a bean, right? And is like maybe exotic or like harder to come by than our tastes would dictate.
I really like this opening because I feel like it showcases our ignorance and yet are willing to talk about things that we don't know more than most
That's
of our
right.
cold opens usually do.
Well, and that's good because we're only going to be talking about Nintendo's future today.
So lots of things we don't know.
Yes, as we roll into a lot of things we do know, I think. But then also, yes, we're going to just be flying by the seat of our pants. But before we get to that seat pant flying, I just want to shout out patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, a place that you can go if you would like to support us. And if you are doing so at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the movies.
Yes, and like it sounds like, Patrick and myself, and usually a special guest, are going to see movies together in the theater and then talking about it. And you get one of those once a month. But that's not all. We have previous miniseries,
Sure do.
including 3 seasons of NCS Arcade, where we played games that we had mostly never beaten before. NCS Goes Broadway, NCS Detective Club, where we talked about the great detective shows of history. You can check out all of that on the Patreon. There's something available at every level, including the free level. So go over there and check it out.
Yes, and also if you have any ideas of what movie we should watch for January, we are looking at the first run releases and we're like, which of these feel like NCS at the movies? And we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
We
so
could use your guidance.
open to ideas.
That's Right. Also, people should be in the Discord if they are not already. Email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com, and I'll send you an invitation. Then you can talk with people who are playing Nintendo games and thinking about Nintendo games that are about to come out. And I don't know, maybe like coordinating Animal Crossing island visits. Animal Crossing is new again, it turns out. So yeah, get in there if you're not already. It is a good time with a lot of fun, friendly people. Mark, let's get into it. Let's talk about Nintendo's 2026. Now, Mark, as always, there are buckets here.
Yeah, that's right.
They're buckets of things that we can discuss. There are a handful of games and other kinds of releases that are dated. We know when they're going to happen. We know what they're going to be. Not a ton of like surprises in this category. But then we kind of branch out from there into games that have release windows or no release window at all. There's at least one game that doesn't even have a year on it. So we can talk about those and if, when we expect to see them and all that sort of stuff. But then we also kind of wanted to talk about like third party games and those two different like categories of stuff, both that we have dates for and are imminent and those that are coming, further down the pipe. We'll obviously drill down deeper into the first party stuff, into the Nintendo developed and published stuff. But it's because of what the Switch 2 is, I feel like the third parties are much more in play this time around.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, one thing that really struck me looking at this list that we've compiled is there is already a lot happening.
I agree.
And so especially on like the Nintendo first party side, which we'll might as well just start getting into right now.
Well, I just wanted to finish laying out with the structures.
Yeah.
Then we will end with predictions.
Yes, that's right.
And we'll talk a little bit more about like how we came up with those predictions and whether it was easier to do this year or harder to do this year when we get to it. But yeah, let's dive in to what we know for sure and have dates for from the Nintendo first party arm this year.
And before we do that,
yes,
can we talk about how historically Nintendo, like when they put dates on things the previous year and it's like for next year, I feel like a lot of times it ends up being the first half of the year. So, in like the June Direct, September Direct of 2025, they revealed a few things that had like a 2026 date on it. And the example that comes to mind for me is when they dated Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
Right.
And it was just 2024.
Right. And then it ended up coming out really early in the year, right?
Yeah, it was like the first half.
Maybe?
It was like the first half of the year or something like that. So when I see something right now that just has 2026 on it, my mind says this is going to be first half of 2026.
So Paper Mario Thousand Year Door came out May 23rd of 2024. So yeah, the first half of the year for sure. I think there's also I know I tend to get led astray by like the order in which things are revealed, or just like Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, they had tagged as a winter release. So I was like, my mind was like, that'll be a January game. And no, it turns out they were putting it out in November. The third from last first party release of the year, which is insane that they were putting out 3 first party games in the last 2 months. But what are you going to do? A console launch year is always going to like throw things off a little bit, right? Yes, I do expect that basically everything here that is undated and that we just have like a window will probably be coming out in the next 4 or 5 months.
Which, let's go down the list because it's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
So starting with just next week, Thursday, 1/15, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, and the version 3.0.0 update.
I feel like the bigger deal here is the 3.0.0 update.
100%, right? Yes. Because the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of this is just like a graphical and performance boost.
And the megaphone thing.
That's right, the microphone megaphone, and that'll cost you $5. Otherwise, just upgrading to the 3.0.0 edition is free.
Do you plan to hop back into Animal Crossing when this happens?
Yes, if only to like try it out. But there's also a lot of it that is very similar to the Happy Home Paradise DLC from a couple years ago, where it's just sort of like limitless decoration with a little bit of guidance from the animals that you're decorating for. And I think Sarah will be playing that mostly. I want to go in and like collect all the Nintendo things. There are like consoles that play specific games if you have Nintendo Switch Online, so it's really just accessing the Nintendo Classics library. But
And
yeah,
those like crossover villagers and stuff.
yeah, all that stuff. And I've got a ton of Zelda amiibo that don't do anything, so I may as well make them do something. But yeah, what about yourself? Do you think you're going to hop back in?
I don't know.
What state is your island in? Because
Oh my gosh. So bad. It's in a really bad state because I had nuked my original island.
right.
And then when the DLC was released, I started a new island, but I just did the bare minimum to try to hit the like DLC unlock state, or at least what I thought it was. And so it's just like it's not a nice place to be. Nobody wants to hang out on my island, including
Right.
myself.
Right. But are you at all interested in like checking out the new material or
I think there's just too much going on in January, like games wise.
that's
January
true.
and February for me to make it a priority. But maybe if it turns out to be something like super amazing,
Yeah.
maybe I will. But yeah, I honestly just don't think I'm gonna really have time to mess around with it.
Yeah, I mean, now that I am done with Metroid Prime, I think I probably will want a little something. And like part of what you're referring to in like stuff happening in January is a game that I'm probably not going to play again. Maybe I will. But we'll get to that when we get to third party releases. But yeah, like I'll need something to hold me over until Mario Tennis Fever, which is the next game on the list. But before we move on to that, we did get an email from Chariot Goblin, the titled "Insight Pikmin 3 Switch 2." Hey NCS! So on Tuesday, we had a conversation about the PEGI ratings for Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Splatoon 3, right?
Yeah,
On
Nintendo
Switch
Switch 2
2.
editions.
So, a Cherry Goblin writes, a Switch 2 version of Pikmin 3 is highly unlikely. The PEGI rating seems to be updated the same way as Switch 1 games with free updates like Mario Odyssey, so chances are it's just a patch. If you look at the Mario Odyssey PEGI rating page, it has two systems listed, Switch 1 and Switch 2, just like Pikmin 3 DX PEGI rating page. So, we were trying to determine whether that indicated that those like multiple ratings were for like a Switch 2 version. It seems as though PEGI has, if not re-rated these things, at least updated the rating to include the new systems when there's just like a patch of bringing them in line.
Okay, that makes more sense because, again, we talked about how Splatoon 3 already had an update
Yes.
for Switch 2. So what would a Switch 2 edition of that bring? Okay, all right. Thank you, Cherry Goblin. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I thought that was relevant here as we were talking about an actual Nintendo Switch 2 edition in the form of Animal Crossing New Horizons. Any other thoughts about the update there?
Nope.
Okay, moving on then, like I said, February 15th, as in the day after Valentine's Day, Mario Tennis Fever comes out. Did I already call it Mario Tennis Aces?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think
great.
You called it. I think you said Fever.
Just now I had to like force my mouth shape to change as I was approaching the word fever. I'm kind of excited about this. I thought Aces was a pretty good tennis game that, I had like 2 good weekends with. And I'm hopeful that the everyone turns into a baby story mode of this game like adds a little bit of playtime to my clock there. Mark, how you feeling about Mario Tennis Fever?
I liked Mario Tennis Aces as well, but I played it when it first came out, and you were able to muscle your way through the kind of like adventure mode thing that it had that was very challenging when it first launched.
They patched later to be not as challenging.
Yes, and I never went back to finish it. But
you never will.
And yeah, exactly. And I bounced. I don't know. I don't really have much of a relationship with Mario sports titles in general. So I think this is a wait and see for me. Again, I just think January and February is going to be packed
Yes.
with games. And so one that I don't feel that strongly about, it's easy for me to pass on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely do. One thing that is very telling about this, though, is like, and something that we've talked about increasingly over the last like year is like, this is the Pong, right? Like,
Yes.
to get a tennis game, an imminently understandable one-on-one kind of thing. It also doesn't seem to me like this is falling in the, and I could be proven wrong, but it doesn't seem like it's falling into the same pattern as the Mario sports games on Switch 1, where it's like, and then we'll be releasing additional characters in the months to follow or weeks to follow or whatever. They were touting the largest roster in Mario Tennis history from the jump, like from the first trailer. And so I kind of think that like this is not going to be a game that they release and then like tinker with and add stuff to. We'll see.
Yeah.
But like it, I'm wondering if like that is a mentality that they're leaving behind in the Switch 1 era.
Right, because I'm trying to think, and there may be examples that are more recent, but I am trying to think of the last time that they used that release strategy. Nintendo used that release strategy because you're right. Like the golf game, the most recent, like Super
Rush, yeah.
I think that had a little of that where they
It
were
definitely did. And then Strikers, which came after, also had that same.
Yes, that's true, but not to the extent that I feel like they were doing early in the Switch's life, like with Kirby Star Allies, where I feel like in Mario Tennis Aces, where I feel like they had like a year of content trickles, and they specifically called out in Nintendo did in one of their investor Q&As, I think when Kimishima was still the president of NCL.
Yeah, the interim. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about how it was like a specific strategy that they were implementing. And yeah, maybe they stopped seeing the returns that they like wanted out of something like that. Or
so I think so. Mario Strikers Battle League came out in 2022 and like June 10th, 2022, according to my spreadsheet here. And they did have not a year's worth of it, but it seemed like it was every couple weeks where it's like, here's a new character. Because I think they had that same strategy, but like you say, we're just seeing like less and less return from it. So they were just like pumping it out. And then I feel like the sort of quintessential version of this, like abandoned, like slow rollout strategy comes from Fire Emblem Engage from January of the next year, 2023, where there were like 3 waves of DLC. One of them was available at launch, and then the like third wave was available less than a month after the initial launch. So, and then, like sort of famously, 2023 and 2024 were like years without DLC in like first party games. So yeah, I think they just like got out of that mode of doing things. Obviously, Mario Kart World is getting like sort of regular updates, but not like content updates necessarily.
Right, they haven't added any characters or costumes or tracks or anything like that.
Right, which I think people want.
Yeah.
Which is strange. But yeah, all of which is to say that like I think that the release strategy for Tennis Fever is going to be different than it was for Aces.
Yeah.
The other thing that makes it a little bit strange that they're releasing a tennis game on the 15th is that on February 17th, not 2 days later, yes, 2 days later, exactly 2 days later, Virtual Boy is coming to the Nintendo Classics line, and one of those games is Mario's Tennis.
Yeah, I mean, the audiences are so different.
They're so different.
Yeah.
But also, we don't know what games are coming to this thing at launch.
Well, the thing that's
or how many.
The thing that's interesting to me about the Virtual Boy library is that there aren't that many games.
Yes.
Full stop.
Right.
Like when you think about the Game Boy library, the NES library, the Super Nintendo, even something like the Nintendo 64, which has a bunch of games in the Nintendo Classics app now, you're still like, yeah, there are things like you can stretch this out for a while. GameCube can go for years. But what do you do with Virtual Boy, right? Because
Yeah, so they've said that they're going to be releasing 14 games over time, and we've seen the list of 14 games. It is not the 14 games that came to the U.S. back in 1995 and 1996 when the Virtual Boy was originally released. It's like 12 of them, and then 2 of the Japanese only games, which is cool to get those other 2 games. But so the games that they showed off in the trailer as like and were named and demoed were Mario's Tennis, Galactic Pinball, and Tellero Boxer. So my instinct is that it'll release with those 3 games. All 3 of those were launch games as well for Virtual Boy. But everything the Virtual Boy lived and died within its own launch window. So like it's all kind of splitting hairs anyway. But yeah, then exactly like how long do they keep this up? Do they dare like wait a month and release these over the course of like a year, doing one at a time after those first 3?
right.
Which at 14 games is like is perfectly the right amount. But it really does seem like give us 2 games a month for every 6 months or for 6 months or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't. Yes, I hope they don't try to meter these out like one at a time. But it is just such a strange library
Yes.
to include as far as like there is a finite number
Yes.
of games that will go on it, and so it's just a matter of time. There's not really a question of like, is my fave going to make it?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right. Well, and they showed all 14 games and they were like, these are the games that we're putting out.
Yeah.
So like the only time that they've done that, we were like, this is the library. But I mean also because like there's this extra cost associated with the
Right, the hardware that is required to play it.
required to play it.
Yeah.
They've never done this before for the Nintendo Classics library where you need to buy the peripheral. Now, you can buy the cardboard version, which is going to be A, made of cardboard, and B, does not seem like the ideal way to play it because the Joy-Con appear to be attached to the Switch as you're playing it, which means you're like physically holding this thing up to your face by the Joy-Cons that you can't like take off.
Yeah, not clear to me.
It seems bad.
I'm glad their Labo know-how is paying off, though.
Me too. Oh,
in
yeah.
This, cardboard accessory.
And I'm glad that we both bought it. Do you think it probably arrives flat and you have to assemble it, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Do you think there's like a thing on the Switch that like instructs you on how to fold it?
Like Labo, that would be cool, but no, I don't think so. Because I don't think it's going to be that involved. I think it's just going to be like a couple of snaps.
All right, very good. Well, do you have any like other like hopes or thoughts about the Virtual Boy here?
I am glad that it's happening. I'm looking forward to the peripheral sitting on my shelf.
Yep.
I just know that I'm not going to play it that much. Like, there's a couple of games that I'm looking forward to, and the rest, like Wario Land, right?
Yes.
And checking out Mario Clash. But for the most part,
Like Jack
and
Bros.
Jack Bros.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, it's just the novelty of it existing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So interesting.
Very excited for that novelty. The next game we have here from Nintendo is Pokemon Pokopia on March 5th. A game that I remain maybe the only person in the world who's excited about it.
See, I don't think so. I think this game is going to be big.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be big with normals. Like, not with people who are super tapped into
Yes.
video game, like news and watching every release. Like, I think it. Yeah, I think it's going to be big.
That's interesting. Oh, do you think because like it's going to be sort of like shareable, memeable, that kind of thing, or
Possibly, yeah. I mean, that Ditto like creature thing.
that Ditto
is-
that looks like a little girl is a strange concept. Yes.
But I think it taps into something that people love, like those sim games, and
Mhm.
it's Pokemon. And so if it's good, I think there is a huge potential audience for a game like that.
And I think because it is being developed by the same studio that did the 2 Dragon Quest Builders games, and that it is like clearly just a Dragon Quest Builders game, but with Pokemon in it, that like it is going to be good. Those games are good. They are well structured. Their worlds are fascinating. And like, yeah, if I'm like building up my town and like recruiting Pokemon to like live in it, and then we get like attacked by bad Pokemon, like that rules. That's awesome. I'm so excited for it. So you think it'll be big? Do you have interest in it at all?
I don't know. Again, I think I'm going to be playing Resident Evil.
Right.
You know, I just when we get to third parties, I think of the top of my year is pretty stacked.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right. Last thing we have with our release date here is not a game, but a movie. It's the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out on April 3rd. And we'll see that. I'm sure neither of us are excited about it, but it's gonna happen anyway.
Yep.
Are tickets on sale? Are they?
I don't think so yet.
Not yet.
I don't think so.
We're probably due for like a real trailer at some point here, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we're not that far away from this movie releasing now. 3
Yeah.
months.
I believe. What was the last trailer considered a teaser? I guess not. It was the Nintendo Direct.
No, I think so. I don't think that they've released like a full trailer yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And there are probably still voices, cast members.
Pete Davidson is Yoshi, right? That's still
Davidson
where
is
I have
Yoshi.
my money. We haven't seen Yoshi at all.
Yeah, we haven't seen Yoshi
He's just
at all.
teased at the end of the first movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we will talk more about that, I'm sure, as we go along. Now we have to move on to the first party games that are just tagged as nebulously Spring 2026.
Yeah, so let's run these down real quick, and then let's look at Nintendo's like calendar for the first 6
Great.
months of the year.
Great.
And where we think these might slot. Okay, so Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Meet Up in Bellabelle Park. We know that's coming,
Yes.
but we don't know when, other than spring 2026.
I think they would be foolish to not release this early April,
In April,
alongside
right?
the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Yeah. Late March, early April, I would
Late
say.
March, early April, yeah. And then, like, if you put it in the same month as Pokopia, like, those are non-cannibalizing things.
Yeah,
a
I think
Switch
you could
2
do that.
version. You can do a Switch 2 version and a new game at the same time. Basically,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
that's
I
fine.
think you could do, because just in November we saw Legend ZA and Kirby Air Riders both
Totally.
go. You know, so yeah.
Next up is Yoshi and the Mysterious Book.
Feels like an April game to me.
That also feels like an April game to me, but I could see it being kicked down to May, just a little bit later, just because it's starting to get crowded there.
Yeah.
And then Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, which is coming out on Switch 1. Honestly, I could see this landing anytime.
Yeah, maybe even February.
Yeah, I think it's possible that it lands really early, just because, like, we haven't. I guess Metroid Dread was a Switch 1 game, but just to like
You
get
mean Metroid Prime 4?
that is what I mean. Yes, but it is also true that Metroid Dread.
You're right. No, my mistake.
Clearly not what I
My
meant though.
mistake. And then, yeah, so okay, with those 3 games, I think you have a pretty full like first half of the year, right?
Yes, Animal Crossing Switch 2 Edition, Mario Tennis Fever, Virtual Boy, Pokemon Pokopia, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Switch 2 Edition, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, and Tomodachi Life. Now, that's a lot for the first, like, I think that's all going to be out before the end of April.
Yeah.
And that's a lot, but in terms of, like, new Switch 2 things, it's really only the 2 games, right? It's really only Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Oh, I guess Pokopia. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, Pokopia, and Mario Tennis Fever.
Right.
Which 3 games in 4 months is still
Yeah, and even if that
Pretty good.
stretches to 5 months, I would say that's still like pretty good. Plus, you will be able to play Tomodachi Life on your Switch 2.
absolutely.
So
And I will.
Okay. So now can we talk about 2026 stuff that's just labeled 2026, or is there more you want to talk about? The
Well,
reason I want to
yes.
jump ahead is
Yeah, yeah.
because Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave
Yes.
is just a 2026 game.
Yeah.
And even though maybe won't be the first half of the year, I think this is going to be the June or July game.
I was gonna say August. Like I think yes. I think it's gonna come out this summer, and be out of the way before like holiday time rolls around.
Yep.
And actually, I sort of let's
That would put it in like the 3 houses window.
yes, true.
Yeah, which I think is right. I think that makes sense.
Let's see. When did 3 Houses come out? 3 Houses came out in. Hold on. Yes, July 26th.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So yeah, that's my prediction for Fortune's Weave is that it's
Good
right,
prediction.
like within 4 weeks of that.
yes,
You
I would
know,
say
one
within
side or the other.
Yeah, within 2 weeks on either side.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be an end of August game. It'll be out earlier than that. Okay. Then we've got Pokemon Champions, which we talked about on Tuesday, and I could not remember the name of, coming out nebulously in 2026. I think we will learn more about this on Pokemon Day, which is
February 27th.
and then it'll be out. This could be a near the end of the year thing, right?
Well, I don't think so because I think that they're going to have a big game for the 30th anniversary.
Okay,
and I
so
don't think
this,
it's this.
so then this would be summer as well, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we also have Rhythm Heaven Groove coming to Switch 1 sometime in 2026. This could be May, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think it's going to be pretty early in
This
the
could
year.
be that endless ocean spot. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep, it very well could be. I do feel like, well, I guess we have predictions that we will get to as well. And then Splatoon Raiders, which is going to come out at some point this year. We think. When it
We're
was
assuming.
We are assuming because its original teaser thing, which premiered on Nintendo today, had no year even expressed on it.
But Nintendo is generally not in the habit of announcing things so far out unless it's an oops, like Metroid Prime 4
Right.
or Tears of the Kingdom that just took longer than they anticipated. And so I think that this is also coming in the first half of next year.
I think it's possible this comes out in like this could be a shadow drop.
No, I think
You don't think so?
I think that Nintendo doesn't really do shadow drops of big games. I think that
Do you think this is a big game?
yes, it's Splatoon. It is one of their like premier franchises in Japan, if nothing else. Like when you go to the Nintendo store and you buy like a tin full of cookies, the franchises on there are Mario, Zelda,
Animal Crossing,
Animal Crossing,
and Splatoon, right?
Splatoon. Like this is going to be, and it's going to be. I think we're getting this, and it's going to be a while till we get Splatoon 4. So yes, I think this is a big deal. I also don't think Nintendo shadow drops big first-party games very often. I think Metroid Prime Remastered has poisoned people's minds into thinking it's something that they do regularly because it's really not.
Well, so I guess the only reason why I'm thinking that they may be treating this differently is they like specifically call it a Splatoon spin-off. And like, you know, there's precious little language in that teaser trailer. But for them to specifically invoke the language of spin-off, I'm like, what actually is this part of Splatoon 3? Is it a standalone thing? Is it a multiplayer game? Is it like this thing is all question marks for me. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if it is a smaller experience and therefore they treat it as a different kind of release. They're obviously already treating it a little bit different in how they are not featuring it in a Nintendo Direct. I don't know. I'm totally this one has me totally stymied.
Yeah, I've hopefully we get a direct in just a few weeks and we learn more about what this game is because you're right. It is we've never had a game handled like this where they just announce it on Nintendo today and then that's it.
Right.
No release window, no year, no nothing. It's just like this thing exists.
This is also the first time we're getting a Splatoon spinoff, right? Or a Splatoon that is not just a numbered game that is we know for sure to be a multiplayer, competitive, whatever. And yeah, just everything about it seems like, what is this? We don't know what this is. But all of the images that we see in that trailer seem like they could have been prepared with the assets in Splatoon 3.
It does look
right?
that way, yeah.
So it is either very far along or they were able to, just create this stuff from like existing, like I don't know. Again, all question marks.
Yep.
And it's one of the more like interesting what the heck is going on here releases on Nintendo's calendar. You mentioned a Nintendo Direct. We have predictions coming up in a little bit, but I don't have this as part of mine.
Yeah, me either.
When do you think we're going to get a Nintendo Direct?
I don't have a specific day in mind, but I think that we're back to business as usual.
So sometime in February,
I think we'll get a February Direct. We'll get something in June. We'll get something in September.
Yep.
And that'll be our year.
Those will be our main directs, and there may
Uh-huh.
be, a partner showcase or a
Indie World
Indie
for
World.
sure. Yeah.
Right now, my guess for the February direct is Wednesday, February 11th.
And why that specifically? I mean, I love it, but why that specifically?
Well, because they're not going to do it the week of the. So I think they'll just get it out right before the
Mario Tennis.
Mario Tennis,
Got it.
which I have as 12/15, but that can't be right. That's a Sunday. I maybe have these release dates wrong. 2/15 rather.
Mario Tennis Fever releases February 12th.
February 12th. Oh, yes, which is also what I have in my spreadsheet. Yeah, I think they will try to kick that out before Mario Tennis Fever, just because that's like the first big Switch 2 game of the year. So,
Yeah.
all right. And then we'll also be like, and these are the Virtual Boy games coming out with the Virtual Boy. Though it does seem like maybe they should tell us that sooner.
Also, I think that could just be a tweet. Like
Or a
that could just show
Nintendo
up on
Today
social
app.
media.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So anything, I mean, I think everything that we've talked about will be out before the end of August.
Yeah, I think before the end of summer. Yeah, I think so. I really do.
And then I think there are other games.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get to that in predictions.
Ah!
But if you just follow Nintendo's pattern, that's usually how it works, right? Like
Yes.
they use June and September to tee up early the next year, and then in February they show some of what's coming that year. June they usually show like the big
Yes.
stuff. Like Super Mario Brothers Wonder was a June direct reveal. So
Yes, totally.
we'll see.
Well, and so that's 11 games between now and what we think is like the end of August. It's a lot. 2 of them are Nintendo Switch 2 editions, so like maybe 9 new games here. But that's a lot of new games.
Yeah, and it doesn't preclude.
Oh,
them-
sorry, I counted Super Mario Galaxy Movie, so it's 10 games or 8 if you don't count the
Okay,
Nintendo
yeah.
Switch 2 editions.
It also doesn't preclude them like releasing smaller stuff.
Yeah.
Announcing some stuff in January to fill out the calendar, but
Some kind of Kirby thing.
some kind of Kirby thing.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's been a while since Forgotten Land launched,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe we're due for like the next big Kirby thing.
Yeah, I mean that we had. You mean like a brand new Kirby game and not like Return to Dreamland Deluxe or whatever that's called?
Yeah,
Okay, well, so that's what we know is coming out from Nintendo this year so far, at least. Shall we move on to the third parties that are going to be making a splash on Switch and/or Switch 2 this year?
yeah. How about we run down the ones with dates, and then for the undated ones, we can just pick out the things that we think are interesting.
Yeah, fair. Yes. So starting January 22nd, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate.
I mean, this is a big one for me.
Mhm.
I'm excited to play it, and this is one that we were alluding to earlier when I was saying I don't think I'm gonna have time to play,
Right.
like mess around with Animal Crossing, because I'm wrapping up Metroid Prime 4. I'm gonna be playing another game for February that we'll be talking about on the show, and then Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is right there.
And I'm so excited for this to come to Switch because it means that you're going to play it, and then we can talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes, yeah, I'm really excited to finally dig into this.
It's a great game. I'm considering playing it again as well. I may just play it on PlayStation because I already have it there. But man, game rocks so hard, and it's only $40 on Switch 2. So.
But then only 6 days later, Dispatch is released on Switch and Switch 2. This is the like superhero office narrative game that has a lot of acclaim and is already available on other platforms, but is coming to Switch 2. And I am looking forward to picking this one up as well.
Also coming out just a week later, it seems like, Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined.
Yeah, as is my way with Dragon Quest games,
And with Dragon Quest remakes.
I will pick this up, but I just don't know that I'm going to have time to play it. Like
Yeah.
when I will have time to play it.
You and I were recently talking about the movie The Adventures of Tintin, a movie that you don't like but that I love. And I think this reimagining has a little bit of the Tintin quality to it.
That.
Look, can I explain why?
Yeah.
Because the characters are all very like stylized in their design. They've got like big cartoon heads and small cartoon bodies, but like realistic looking skin and hair.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, which is one of the like genuine like human hurdles to enjoying that Tintin movie. But yeah, I mean, I'm also very excited about this.
And then on February 12th, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, the remake of the third game, is releasing. And then on the 20th, Ys 10 Proud Nordic is releasing.
But then here's the marquee title here. February 27th, Resident Evil Requiem is releasing on all platforms, including Switch 2. But then on Switch 2, we also get Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village.
Now, I'm unsure what to do here because I'm excited for Requiem to be on there, but I haven't played 7 and 8 yet. So I'm wondering if I should play those first.
But how?
No, I mean like once.
Oh, I see
all
what you're
three
saying. Yes,
Release on
yeah.
Switch 2, start from 7 instead of jumping right into 9. I don't know that it'll matter. Like,
yeah,
I
I
wonder-
don't.
yeah.
I don't think it will either. Especially because Requiem is like, being touted as having these two separate like parts to it. The Grace Ashcroft sections that are more in like the survival horror mode, and then the Leon Kennedy sections that are more action based. And I think those action based sections are going to feel really like at home and normal to you, a fan of Resident Evil 4 and all the other ones. So I think you'll be. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And also, like, these stories don't really tie together from game to game. And if they do, their connections make less sense.
I think 7 and Village are tied closely together.
Yeah, but that guy is not in this one.
Right.
Or at
right.
least he's not the playable character. Ethan?
Yeah,
maybe?
Ethan.
I do intend to play at least 7 before Requiem comes out.
Yeah.
I meant to be tagging this as we went along, but there is a Grace Ashcroft amiibo that will be coming out. It's not dated yet, so I don't think it'll hit the February release date of the game, but it'll come out at some point in time. And just wanted to shout out the other amiibo that we know are coming from Nintendo this year. Is it okay to bounce back to this now?
Totally.
So the Meta Knight and Shadow Star Kirby Air Riders amiibo comes out March 5th. It is, of course, $50 dang. There are 2 more Kirby Air Riders amiibos, King DDD and Tank Star, and Chef Kawasaki and Hop Star. They do not have dates yet,
So crazy.
but they do have price tags. $50. And then the Mario and Luma and Rosalina and Luma amiibo for Super Mario Galaxy come out on April 2nd, the same day as just about the same week as the movie. But they go with the game that came out last year.
Do you have any amiibo predictions in your predictions?
I do not have any amiibo predictions.
I don't either. So I will just speculate now that it seemed like Amiibo was dead, and then it wasn't. But I think Amiibo is dead culturally. Like, zeitgeist-wise, I
Yes.
think Amiibo is dead.
Well, and like if Amiibo wasn't dead before the Switch 2, they have killed it, right? Like I think they have like actively mismanaged Amiibo. Part of that, not part of it. Like it is the pricing. Although it's also just like the sort of inessentiality of a lot of these Amiibo. It's like so unbelievably easy to imagine skipping the Chef Kawasaki and Hopstar Amiibo.
They're just because they're so expensive. It's
Yes.
so expensive.
Yes.
And when it is already kind of inessential, it's like, yeah, you could buy one of these, or you could basically buy a game.
Yeah. $50 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And also, if last year is any indication, you can wait 3 months and they'll be a quarter of the price or less.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Street Fighter amiibos that sold for $40 were going for $8. That's 20%. That's 80% off. Like it's an insane markdown.
Right. Which just, I don't know. The lead time on these must be so long that it's difficult for them to
Absolutely, yes.
react to it quickly. But I can't imagine that they're looking if what we see in the US is any indication of how these are doing worldwide. I can't imagine they're looking at this and being like, we should make more Amiibo.
Yes, and certainly like amiibo don't need to be big. They don't need to be 2 different parts that are clipping together with magnets and they're too complicated and therefore too expensive.
You can imagine a world
I know.
where like those
Where they hit.
Kirby Air Riders,
Yes.
Air Riders amiibo, when they started development on them,
Mm-hmm.
they probably would have been priced maybe at $30. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
And then everything just went totally
Totally
crazy.
pear-shaped. Yeah.
And now you're paying $50 for them. I don't know. I think Amiibo had a nice little moment again, but I just can't imagine that they would keep pursuing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
And
real
poor
shame.
Capcom, because they
I
really
know.
they really were like, all right, yeah, we're all in.
Yeah, we're making those amiibo too, and we will get to another one of those shortly. But yes, back to Resident Evil and their amiibo. Yeah, I think you and I are very excited about this, and we're going to talk about it on the show and be basking in Resident Evil for a little while, and just very much looking forward to a new like Resident Evil coming back to Switch. It's very cool.
Yep. And then in March, on the 12th, we have Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake. And then on the 13th is Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection.
Which I believe also has amiibo.
Yeah, I think so too.
There've been a lot of Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter Story amiibo to the point where actually maybe it's all just Monster Hunter Stories amiibo. But because I'm so outside that franchise, I can't even really track the amiibo there. But I'm pretty sure there are some for this new third game. The third game, I say this about every single one of these, looks kind of neat.
Yeah, it does.
But there's no way I'm going to start one. I don't think.
And so the next kind of like major third-party release that we know about is in April, and that's Capcom at the plate once again with Pragmata.
Yes.
Pragmata, I don't know how you say it.
You say Pragmata, I say Pragmato. and this also has an amiibo.
Yeah, a really ugly one.
A really ugly
this one stands no chance.
Yeah, Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad looking amiibo. I also just think that like because it's coming out on all platforms simultaneously, like Switch is not going to be the place to play it.
I think that's probably true.
Unless
and I think Resident Evil Requiem will probably be the same story.
That's a good point.
Unless it'll never be the graphical showcase, but portability, it can be a killer app. So we'll see. I'm just hoping it runs well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
And then in May, on May 27th, we have 007 First Light.
Recently delayed from March 27th. I still think that's a little bit fishy. I mean, I'm excited about this game. I like James Bond in the abstract. I like James Bond games, generally speaking. I think we need to see a little bit more of this before really like understanding what it is and if it's going to be fun. But yeah, I'm interested.
And then on the 29th of May, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight.
Which seems cool. I don't think I will be fooled by another Lego game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga was like, no. We're not like those other Lego games. This is like an open, we can wander around whatever planets you want from these movies. And then you start it and you're like, oh, I'm bashing up stuff and collecting
right.
Bits or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll not be fooled again by the Lego games. But I would say that is the extent of what we know for sure is coming out on Switch from third parties.
Yeah, there's a bunch of games that have like 2026 dates or were delayed from 2025.
Yes.
So are presumably coming out in 2026. But I think these, these I do not feel confident will come out in like the first half of the year. Or anything like that.
Yes. And some of them not even confident that will come out next year.
Yes. Anything from level 5.
Anything from level 5, absolutely. Although I sort of think that Professor Layton is due.
Maybe.
I believe Professor Layton and the New World of Steam will be coming out.
Do you think it'll make it before Deca Police?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Deca Police is vaporware, man. That game's going to come out in 2030.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are two of the games on our list here is Professor Layton and the New World of Steam and Deca Police. Deca Police, which we saw in a Nintendo Direct like 2 years ago.
Yeah, probably even more than that at this point.
You're probably right.
Borderlands, I'm going to guess that it was 2021 that game was announced.
I don't have a comprehensive database of the Nintendo Directs, but...
Borderlands 4, delayed from 2025, has, as far as I know, we've had no update on it since then. But
Right. Well, they learned their lesson because they had to refund in pulling it off the store, in delaying it because there were pre-orders. They had to cancel every pre-order and therefore like refund a bunch of money.
Right.
So I think they have learned their lesson now, and they are not going to release this or talk about it until it's ready to be put out
it's
on
a
Switch
Mina the
2.
Hollower situation. They're not going to talk about it until it's ready.
Let's talk about Mina the Hollower. It's supposed to come out on October 30th last year.
October 31st.
Was that right? Okay. Was delayed out of there with really just a couple weeks to go before release, and no new release date in sight. We know that things are turbulent over at Yacht Club Games. We don't need to harp on that, I guess, a lot longer. But when Mina the Hollower comes out, I'm there.
Another game delayed from 2025 is Elden Ring Tarnished Edition.
Yeah.
So this never had a release date, but when it was on like show floors at Gamescom and stuff like that, it was apparently in very rough state. And so
yes,
it did get delayed out of 2025 into 2026, but we don't know anything more about it other than that.
Right. And I would say sort of related to that is Dusk Bloods, which is a FromSoft game, also the developers of Elden Ring. That is a Switch 2 exclusive.
And I think being published by Nintendo.
Okay. Well, that's a wrinkle I was not aware of. But, had a marquee place at the end of a Nintendo Direct. Was the Switch 2 blowout event, right?
I think so, in June, yeah.
And like seemingly has a multiplayer focus. But, I guess like we'll see exactly what that means. Like online and multiplayer mean different things in FromSoft games sometimes. But Elden Ring just had like their Night Rain DLC, which was like a persistent online, you're playing with a bunch of people, or a handful of people at any rate. So, I mean, we'll see if this is going to land before Elden Ring. We'll see if it lands at all this year.
Right. And I was wrong. It's not published by Nintendo. It's published by From Software. So they're developing and publishing it.
Got it.
And Elden Ring is developed by From Software, but published by Bandai Namco, I think.
Okay.
Let's see what else. We have a couple of games from Microsoft: Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and South of Midnight, both being released on Switch 2. Plus rumors of Starfield coming to and also I guess Call of Duty in some form.
And that Halo combat. What's it called? What are they calling the Halo 1 remake?
Right. Campaign Evolved.
Too cute by half, I think. That is also due out for Switch, right?
No, I don't think so.
We don't think so.
I don't think it was it wasn't announced for it, and I haven't really heard any rumors. But who knows?
It's going to be on PlayStation, so
yeah.
So we'll see if it also gets there. I guess there are also a couple other retro styled games like Scott Pilgrim EX, which is a sequel to the Scott Pilgrim versus the World game from 12, 13 years ago now, whatever. It looks really cool. Seems like it's taking some of its cues from the Scott Pilgrim Takes Off Netflix series, which is exciting because that series was good. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, is that HD 2D sort of Secret of Mana which, I love Secret of Mana. And the demo for that was pretty good. Also, Witchbrook, which Mark has highlighted in our show notes right now.
Yeah, just because I was making sure it's the one that I think it is that was originally supposed to release in 2025.
I believe so,
and
yeah.
got pushed to 2026.
It looked like sort of a cozy, isometric, witch school game.
Yeah, totally.
Was also in, I think, an Indie World Showcase or,
yep.
if not a Nintendo Direct. But yeah, those, for me, are kind of the big ones. We saw Orbitals teased at the was that at the Game Awards maybe?
Yeah.
This is the one that has the 1980s anime style to it, which is so much more specific than what you normally see in anime influences in video games now. That Mouse PI for Hire. It's a first person looks like you're in Toontown, mouse detective / first person shooter game. I don't know. Looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
Stylized, for sure.
So there's a lot that we already know from third parties that are coming to Switch.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I think third-party supports still impresses me when it comes to the Switch 2. And yeah, I mean, I expect we will just continue to see more of this as the year progresses.
Yeah, I am like interested in like the big question marks like Elden Ring and Borderlands, where it's like, are they going to just plop them out broken, like, or are they going to like get to a place where they do work?
Yeah. I mean, they don't really have. I was going to say they don't really have an incentive, especially with like Borderlands 4. I feel like the reception to that game was difficult already,
Totally.
you know? And so I just don't think they would risk it. Elden Ring, I don't know that Elden Ring has run great on any platform ever, so they may just get it to a good enough state and then kick it out the door. But I think what's notable to me about this is that there are so many third-party games in the first half of the year, in like the first 3 months of the year, that I already know I want to play and like I want to play at release. And so it's like, yeah, if Nintendo doesn't in then plus there's all like the first party stuff in there as well.
Right.
So I think it's just going to be after like 2024 and 2025 being pretty quiet for
Yeah,
like a good like combined 18 months. I will be interested. I just think this year is going to at least start off with a bang for me personally.
I also think it's fascinating how many like new releases that are coming to Switch 2 day and date with everything else. The Dragon Quest 7, Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata, 007 First Light, Lego Batman. That's fascinating. We've not really been in this place for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have been through everything that we know or that we think we know. Shall we move off of the certainty into the realm of, Mark, uncertainty?
Yes. Let's.
So, I said that before we got into our predictions, I would pose the question to you. Did you find this easy or did you find this difficult this year?
I kind of found this easy.
You found it easy,
because
okay.
I have a few strongly held beliefs about what 2026 is going to
yes, and
have in store.
And I left some of those things off of my predictions because I was like, Mark Mitchell will fill this hole. I actually found this quite difficult, partially because I was like, don't talk about that. Mark will talk about that. But also because it feels like all of the quivers in Nintendo's arrows, all of the arrows in Nintendo's quiver, there we go, have been fired recently or within like modern memory. The Switch 2 generational reset doesn't feel as definitive as the Switch generational reset. So like, when Switch launches and we get, like franchise defining entries in Zelda and Mario Kart, even though it was a re-release, and Smash Brothers, that it's like, okay, great. Those are final statements on these things. What the heck comes next? And we got a Metroid game a couple of years ago, a Metroid Prime game this last year, where it's kind of like, what's still out there?
Yeah, totally. Plus, like, for so many years previous, we were speculating all the time about new Nintendo hardware.
Yes.
And then that's off the board now, right?
That's right.
Like I mean, I guess you can predict anything, but the Switch 2 is out and it seems too early for like a Switch 2 Lite or something. And so it really broadens like what the predictions can be.
Yeah,
because there isn't that
what they
big,
have
like,
to be
looming
right.
thing that has took up so much space for so long.
And also, there are some, and look, one of my predictions here is a real groaner. But I feel like there are these like categories of like predictions where it's like Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, like that kind of thing where it's like, yes, okay, we've been saying that forever. Maybe it'll be right someday. Who knows? But yeah, I feel like that sort of thing just feels like, no, Nintendo has truly abandoned us in those ways, right? But we'll see. And actually, can I go first? Because
please,
my first prediction falls into the groaner category, but I have an explanation. Metroid Prime and Metroid 2 and 3 remasters.
Interesting.
So the reason, and I have a little description paragraph here that starts with, I know. This is the time where the Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3 remasters would actually make sense to release for the following reason. Metroid Prime 4 came out the end of last year and had the reaction that it had. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, and a lot of other people felt both ways about it at the same time, which is, I think, the camp that you and I fall into. The people that were like, this is not my Metroid Prime, I don't like this, they are now primed, pardon the pun, to revisit the old Metroid Prime games that they purport to like. Put them out, let them have that. You know what I mean? Feed that appetite. The people who just enjoyed Metroid Prime 4, game's not that long, you're not burnt out on Metroid Prime as a formula. Play 2 and 3.
Yeah, interesting.
If these things were ever real, now is like arguably the perfect time to put them out. Put them out as $40 games or whatever, and just like to pad out the library. But yeah, I think that, you know, we always say that, or not, it's a thing to keep in mind that like when a new game comes out, should the remasters of previous entries precede them by like a little bit or by a lot of time? You don't want to burn people out on playing the games. And I feel like Metroid Prime 4 didn't burn anyone out, right? The people that weren't having fun just stopped playing it.
Can I love this because I never would have guessed that would have been one of your predictions.
Yes.
For 2026. Can I counter with a thought, which is Metroid Prime 2 Echoes on
GameCube
Nintendo Classics?
Yeah, I think that is also pretty likely, but then it means we'll never get 3.
Maybe. I mean, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Forever is a long time. You're right. I'm just saying, like, it'll be a while before they decide to put Wii games on.
Right. Like, how would that
Nintendo
even...
Classics.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that what a motley crew that would be to have Metroid Prime. Because, you know, on it, they could put Prime 1 eventually on the GameCube Nintendo Classics.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like,
they could.
Because I kind of feel like that remaster has probably sold what it's, you know, going to sell.
I agree.
And so I don't think it's like cutting off the legs of that to put it on there. But yeah, how interesting would it be? You have the first game as a remastered. That's the only way for you to play it. The second one on Nintendo Classics. So you have to own a Switch 2 and upgrade to the expansion pack. And then the third one just not playable until they decide to release it, you know, like
right.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one available on both Switch 1 and Switch 2.
Yeah.
There's especially if they could put out the remasters as Switch 1 games. You know, you and I,
that would be cool.
I think that's like sort of part of what would make this prediction actually work.
Yeah, this isn't on my predictions. We didn't talk about it when we were talking about first party stuff, but I do expect they're going to announce new Switch 1 games sometime this year. That it won't just be those two Switch 1 games.
Yeah, it won't just be Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life.
Yeah, like I do think that there will be something else new for Switch 1 players.
I think that's probably right. I mean, we've talked about it before. It's such a fascinating like dance that Nintendo's on right now, where it's like they need to drive people to the new hardware, but also like video game hardware sales are like the worst they've been in a long time. Not, you know, just for Nintendo, but Nintendo's doing all right now with the new system. But there are also 100 million Switches out there that like people can continue to play games on if there are new games coming to it.
Yeah, I think it's too soon for them to be able to like pivot and be like, oh, okay, something that we planned for this year just to be Switch 2. Now we're gonna try to make it happen at the, you know.
Yeah, that would be tough.
But I could absolutely see a new Pokemon generation being on Switch 1 and Switch 2. It gets a little crazy when you're like, there's 4 different versions then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe not
so
it's not
crazy.
that bad.
I mean, they could do the like cross-generational thing like they did with the Mystery Dungeon games where, you know, it was,
oh, that's interesting.
Red is on GBA and Blue is on DS or possibly reversed. But yeah.
All right, my first prediction?
Yes, please.
Okay, my first prediction is that Nintendo Switch Online gets $5 more expensive on all the tiers. But as part of that, the Nintendo Switch Online playtest becomes a real boy. Like, whatever that is going to be
and then
is revealed.
Is it free as part of your subscription?
As part of your subscription,
Gotcha.
It becomes a thing. And
is that part of the expansion pack or
no? I think for
Got
base
it.
as well. I think it's like, yes, we're charging more money, but you get access to this thing. And I think the Nintendo Switch Online playtest um, could be really important to Nintendo. And the reason I say that is because the list of like most played games of 2025 are is the exact same games that they were in 2024. It's like Fortnite. It is like those.
Minecraft.
Yes, it is those experiences, and I think not everybody's, but there is a generation of gamer that is games. And why would I leave? Fortnite is always changing. Minecraft is always changing. Like, why would I spend $70-$80 on a new game? And I think that this, whatever Nintendo Switch Online playtest turns out being, could be Nintendo's true foray into one of those
Right,
games.
into
And it's
that
like,
space.
this
Yeah.
is just a forever game. When we can get kids playing this, and this can be our Minecraft, this can be our Fortnite. We don't have to try to reinvent Splatoon to make it Fortnite. We can do that here.
Sure. So I guess the place where I might push back as like it being tied to, because I think that's right, that they do want it to be like their forever game that kids are playing because it has that boxy look of Minecraft, right? Is that I don't know that you can tie it to Nintendo Switch Online with a price increase. Like, part of the reason that Fortnite and Minecraft are so big is that Minecraft isn't free. I guess you pay for Minecraft. Fortnite's free though.
Right. Fortnite is free to start. That's absolutely true. And you can, I guess, play Fortnite forever without ever having to pay anything.
Right.
So maybe.
But if you
yeah,
want
that's
to,
interesting.
twerk as the alien from Aliens, then you gotta
Right.
pay some money.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So maybe
Being really dismissive of the the biggest video game in the world.
what it turns out to be is you can play it for free, but if you're subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online, you basically are getting the Battle Pass or whatever Nintendo calls
Yeah,
it
there we go.
for like $5. But yeah, I think that Nintendo Switch Online playtest becomes whatever it's going to be, like is revealed and is part of a price increase for Nintendo Switch Online.
Do you think that there is a recognizable Nintendo IP that will be stapled onto this thing?
I don't know.
It's hard for me to imagine what it would be.
Right.
Like, you're these weird like caveman dudes with tails, and I don't think it's gonna be like a Donkey Kong game.
No, I think that it might be what they showed off, that it
Yeah.
is those weird cavemen dudes with tails. And because for a playtest, so much work was put into it, right?
Yes,
Had
yes,
original
agreed.
music, like it had all this stuff. And the level of polish makes me think like this is the direction
Right.
that they're headed.
Can I also say that the move towards game chat and the game camera, which has not really been a focus of their marketing beats or the games that they've published since the launch of the Switch 2, is like perfectly at home with something like this playtest.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I think the playtest will have to be a Switch 1 game, right? That you can also
Yeah,
play on Switch
yeah.
2, which sort of negates what I'm saying here. But like, I think they're gonna want to really, or maybe not. Maybe they're just giving up on it. But like, it's built into the system. Game chat is built into the system. There's a button on every controller that will take you to the chat screen.
Aren't you so curious what the like uptake, like the usage
Yeah.
of game chat is? Because you're saying
Kind of no. I just assume it's very low.
see, but that's what I wonder, because I know that like our personal experience would say that that's true, but it's such a fundamental part of the system. And when you're saying like they're not using camera in game, I kind of think the idea is you're using it all the time with game chat. Like it is a much
Right.
Obviously that is not our experience, but that it makes me wonder. They're dedicating so much resources to it on the Switch 2 itself.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like a feature that is new to the Switch 2. I'm so curious what the use of it is like.
All right. So Nintendo Switch Online price increase, and the playtest becoming a real boy. Very good. My second prediction here is by the end of the year, so probably not until the September Direct, the new Super Smash Brothers game will be teased.
This is very, very interesting because I have a bonus question on here because I don't have a Smash Brothers prediction.
Yes.
And my bonus question was going to be, what do you think will happen with Smash Brothers?
Here we go. I think they are going to have to show the new direction of Super Smash Brothers because there needs to be a new direction to Super Smash Brothers. The current trajectory of those games is more. Everyone is here, right? And then here's an additional 12 characters on beyond that. That can't be the next game. Next game has to be something different. My current pitch on that is no returning characters. You can do like sideways approaches. Give me a Paper Mario, a Wolf Link and Midna. Give me Detective Pikachu, Cranky Kong, Poochie, but get all of the existing characters out of there.
Crazy.
But a focus on the online platform of it all, right? An online suite of features, again, sort of going back to you have your camera and you have game chat. I think they're going to want to create these sort of what do they call the lobbies in Kirby Air Riders? The paddock.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Or like the lobbies in Street Fighter 6 where you can walk around and play classic arcade games within there. I think that is a direction for Smash Brothers to go that is echoing where Street Fighter went, while also embracing this online communication sort of thing that they seem to be very interested in at the beginning of the generation.
Yeah. Do you think Sakurai is back?
I don't. I think he's done. Well, and that's also another reason why you got to be this is the new way that we're doing this.
Yeah.
And it just has to be and you can maybe even pitch it as a spin-off or something. But it just, and then the next Smash on Switch 3 can combine all the characters and whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But we are too. The current roster of Smash Brothers is too big and too crazy to keep adding to it. Because a normal person sees 70 characters from 60 different video games and is thanks, I'm out. But if you can trim it down and have it be a more interesting selection of weirdos from the Nintendo canon, which don't even have to be that obscure, right? I started with Paper Mario. That would be a character that plays completely differently than Mario currently does. I just think that there has to be a reset point with that game.
Yeah, cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah, what they do with Smash Brothers is so perplexing to me because Sakurai has been such the face of it.
I know.
And the authorial voice of it. And so do they it's almost don't even try to fill that void. You know what I mean? And just have it come from an anonymous team. That's why I don't have a prediction. I genuinely don't know what they're gonna do.
Right, sure.
Push come to shove, I would guess that we get a Switch 2 edition and they punt. They give themselves more time to try to figure out.
What do you think Switch 2 edition is? Is just another
know.
character pack? Because can they even make more characters without him?
Right. And how what we've seen of Switch 2 editions, but would they want to bifurcate the player base? Could you make changes to a Switch 2 edition that aren't to the online play or something that aren't backwards compatible with the Switch 1 game? I don't know. I really don't know. Smash Brothers seems like a unsolvable problem. Maybe the franchise is just done.
See, which again, if you were to approach it in a different way, and it's just don't expect this one to sell 30 million copies.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and just be like, this one is different. This is Smash Brothers Gaiden, or you know,
Yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah.
To just be like, no, this is it. And also why like really focusing on like the online suite, and like, you know, if you're inviting people to like your lobby or whatever, that it's a space that you decorate with like your character stickers or whatever, you know, and just like allow that online, because I do think that there is just an affinity for controlling these characters in a space, right? Like that's one of the reasons why Space Solace is so beloved, even though like the platforming and combat in those like little sections are bad, right? Like it's not actually fun to play, but like the cutscenes are cool, and then you just like being Yoshi. So like I think you just like transport that to a slightly different gameplay environment that can be a little bit more cozy, a little bit more social, while also still having the beat the crap out of your friends gameplay at the heart of it.
I will say, I think if there were ever a company that would be willing to walk away from a guaranteed, like, you know, minimum 10 million copies sold or something in the name of, hey, the person who made these doesn't make them anymore, so we're just not going to try to keep like cranking this out, I think it would be Nintendo. To just be like, they're not going to say anything, to just be like, yeah, like Smash Brothers is just done. We just don't make Smash Brothers games anymore.
Yeah, no, that is true, and that is, you know, it's why we haven't seen a new Earthbound game, right? Like Itoi is like, no, I'm done. So yeah, I don't know. It's
such a weird problem.
It's such
What do
such
you do
a
with
weird
Smash
problem,
Brothers?
right?
I hope you're right. I hope that whatever it is in 2026, they let us know, because I'm just so curious. What's the deal with Smash Brothers?
It's also then like so odd that they spent Sakurai on Air Riders.
Right.
You know, like, because you could do a new Kirby Air Riders game without him, right? It would be a little bit different. But like, yeah, in terms of like what they had to spend to make that game. I don't mean like in terms of money, but just in terms of like life capital of a creative man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just gone now.
Yeah. All right, my second
Yes.
prediction.
Yes.
Mine is also something that's revealed in the September Direct, but I think the new 3D Zelda is going to be revealed with a teaser.
Here we go.
In the September Direct, and I think that's all it's going to be. I don't think it's going to have a year attached to it. I don't think it's going to be anything, but I think we're going to get a glimpse. I think we're going to get a little like glimpse into what they're working on for the new 3D Zelda.
Do you think that it would be in that same like open air format? Like, are we like, if not revisiting the exact same Hyrule of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, are we revisiting that formula?
I think we are for sure not revisiting the same Hyrule.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think probably the teaser is going to be focused on like showing off a little bit of what the new Hyrule is, and not necessarily what Link's abilities are going to be.
Do you think it's Hyrule?
Interesting. No, I have no idea.
Because there are other lands. They could also just like make up a new one,
Yeah.
right? Although I guess like fundamentally, like there'll be a mountain and a volcano.
But yeah, no, they could.
forest.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Hyrule. I don't know. I'm really excited to see what they're cooking up, but I do think we'll get a teaser trailer.
So as long as we're talking about directors, Hidemaru Fujibayashi, director of the last two Zelda games and a bunch more before that, do we think that like he's back for the next Zelda? I think from a public perception perspective matters way less than what we were talking about with Sakurai on Smash. But do you think he's back?
I do. Yeah.
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 Okay.
That'd be my guess. How about you?
I don't know. I mean, that guy's been living and breathing Zelda for so long now. Because I'm just looking over his credits right now. Was the director of Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, and Four Swords.
And I think the Oracle games, right?
And the Oracle games, yes.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, since 2001.
Yeah, but I think they're just
25 years!
I think Nintendo folk are just built differently, because AJ Aonuma's has to have been working on Zelda at least as long.
That's true.
and he still oversees the franchise. So yeah, I mean, I'm expecting Fujibayashi is cranking away at it right now.
I assume you mean the new Zelda game. When
Yes.
you say.
Yeah, that's right.
We joked about it a little bit on Tuesday's episode, but I also saw someone on Twitter today being like, I have heard that Triforce Heroes is the next remake coming to Switch 2.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
It doesn't seem like it could possibly be real, but like
That'd be so good.
I'm here for it.
I mean, yeah.
And also remember that I got there by averaging the release intervals between original and remakes.
Yes.
And got to 11.25 and so on.
Nintendo
years.
is science.
Yes, Nintendo is science. 11 years ago, 2015, that's when Triforce Heroes came out. If that is what happens this year, I want everyone to remember that the math told us so.
Yep, that's right.
That's great. So we tease coming out 2027.
No, I don't think they put any date on it, and
Okay.
no, I don't think it comes out in 2027. But I think they are. I think they're going to tease it. I think they're going to be like, "This thing is coming. Please buy a Switch 2."
Yeah. Do you think that Nintendo wished like hell that they had gotten the Switch 2 out in 2023 so they could have Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Wonder, and Pikmin 4 in the Switch 2 launch year?
Oh boy, I bet. Oh man. Yeah, looking back on it, would they have been better off even in 2024? Right? Like
Right.
if they had been able to get it out in 2024 at a lower price,
Mhm.
or at least with like the accessories at a lower price.
And those damn amiibo.
And they have like a year before everything starts going crazy. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Also, can you imagine if Tears of the Kingdom was like a cross-generational release?
Oh my
Like,
God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, it maybe would have changed the vibes around that game too. I don't know. Interesting.
All right. My final prediction, Mark. Something I'm calling WarioWare Platinum. WarioWare Gold, one of my favorite 3DS games, collected all of everything that was on in the various WarioWare games into one wonderful package. And then since then, we've gotten two pretty inessential WarioWare games on Switch, Get It Together and Move It. This Platinum version would just roll everything together into one, because that's what we need now that there have been two new versions. We need another amazing collection. And then also, this is back to a recurring theme here, a focus on online and local multiplayer like party modes. Mario Party is a bad party game because people don't want to sit in front of a TV for an hour and a half and let one round of Mario Party play out. If they just find a way to make it accessible for people to drop in, drop out, play a couple micro games, and then pass the controller and move on, that's what WarioWare needs to be an effective party game.
Yeah, that would be fun. Also, I love the idea of we've had two non-traditional WarioWare games on Switch, but yeah, let's get the best of. Let's get like a traditional WarioWare on Switch 2. That'd be super fun.
And I like this idea of also packaging it for like grown-up parties, because I want them to put Wario in a tuxedo and like holding the martini.
Yes. Really,
really class him up.
Really class them up. I mean, it is WarioWare Platinum after all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. My last prediction is that the new 3D Mario game is releasing in the fall and will be revealed in the June Direct.
So this is what I was holding out for you to. This is the space I was leaving empty in my predictions because I knew that you would be there, coming out. You think end of October?
Yeah, in that like Odyssey spot for sure.
And the Wonder spot. They're basically the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So probably not from the Odyssey team.
No, I do think from the Odyssey team.
Okay.
My understanding, I haven't done this research for myself, is that the leads from Odyssey are not, the majority of them are not in the credits for Bonanza. And so I think that Bonanza is a different team. The director of Bonanza came to Nintendo in 2021 or something like that. So I think that they have been working on both. And part of the reason I feel that it's coming this year is I firmly do not believe that Nintendo is going to wait like 5 or 6 years into the Switch 2 generation to release
have
a
a
3D
Mario
Mario
game.
game.
Yeah.
That just seems inconceivable to me that they're like, great, Bonanza's out, let's start from scratch. Like, I just don't think there's
Right, that they've
any
got
way.
something else.
Yeah.
But do you think that like that it is that sort of like open world style and not like kind of more course based or like something like along the line of Bowser's Fury?
I don't think Bowser's Fury is
You think that was
the
a dead end,
future.
yeah.
I think it was like a one-off. I
Yeah.
think so no, my expectation is not that it's like Bowser's Fury. I have no clue what this Mario is going to be. Who could have ever guessed that Cappy was going to be, and like the capture mechanic
Right.
was going to think. So I can't even like hazard a guess, but I do think it's coming this year, and I think it'll be revealed in June.
And not at all mentioned in the
I don't know. That'd be fun. They
February
teased
direct.
Odyssey for a long time.
They did tease Odyssey.
And then blew it out in June. So maybe that's the case here. We get a tease in February, we get a blowout in June, and then the game releases in October.
Is it at all weird that like we are currently celebrating the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers, and then presumably this game would fall just outside that
Right.
celebration, and maybe none of that matters at all. And the 40th and 35th and 30th anniversaries are all like, oh, coincidentally, I guess that's how we're going to market this.
I feel like they use them when it's beneficial to them for like marketing purposes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like Mario's 35th anniversary, or like, because is Zelda's 40th anniversary going to be a thing? Will they even mention
They'll use it to sell Triforce Heroes.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like they pick and choose which anniversaries to use, whatever is most beneficial to what they are doing. Also, I mean, they could say it's the end of the
Yeah, totally.
the grand finale to
Capping
the 40th.
off a year of celebration of
Uh-huh.
Mario's 40th anniversary with whatever the new Mario game is.
Yeah.
I noticed that neither of us went for any sort of hardware. Obviously, not like a new Switch or whatever, but no, nothing like Labo-y and nothing Game and Watchy or
Right.
Alarmo-y or anything like that. And maybe some of that is because like we're getting the Virtual Boy things in February, and like that's probably it, right? Like, don't make us buy more plastic stuff.
Keep in mind that we do know of something that we didn't mention in like the known 2026 stuff, which is that talking flower toy. So, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
I
I forgot about the talking flower.
Yeah, but you're right. I have no like, I don't think we're going to get another Game & Watch thing. I don't think
Yeah,
we're
that sure seemed like there was just those two.
But yeah, I mean, maybe something along that line, especially if they can make it for cheaper, right? If they're looking to like buoy.
Yeah. The thing is, if they can make it for cheaper and then sell it, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what, it's they gotta ship it to the States and get an additional surcharge on it from tariffs. So,
Well, hey, I mean, maybe the Supreme Court will rule that those are illegal, and all that will get walked back.
yeah, and there's all kinds of world events that could really torpedo or buoy all of this. So,
Good point.
I don't know. Any other closing thoughts here about the year to come? But please, dear God, let's just talk about Nintendo. Stay safe out there, everyone. By the way, it seems crazy watching things unfold in Minneapolis, but sorry.
2026 Nintendo. I think that as far as third parties go, I think it's going to be a good year.
Yeah, you're really bullish on the third parties for this year.
And first party, I genuinely don't know what to expect, but I hope that whatever is revealed throughout the course of the year will give us some indication of what Nintendo what support of the Switch 2 is going to look like. If it's a bunch of Nintendo Switch 2 editions, that's going to be
a little bit of a problem.
That's going to be
a
lot less exciting than if they're really hitting us with new software.
I mean, I honestly think that we're like approaching the like conceivable end of what they could do with those, right? Like most of these games have been like sort of passively upgraded with just like the not Nintendo Switch 2 versions, but the versions you play on Switch 2
Right, yeah.
already.
Yeah.
That like beyond the two that we know about that are coming out this year, Animal Crossing and Mario Wonder, that like
And that's what we originally thought / hoped,
Yeah.
right? Is that these were early titles to
Yes.
kind of like fill the gaps before other software was ready. So hopefully that turns out to be true.
we also didn't really talk about it, but I think the multiplayer things in the Bella Bella Park stuff in Mario Wonder could be fun.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like I think some of the best like Nintendo game playing party experiences I've had over the last couple of years are in Nintendo World Championships NES edition, and that's just like, oh yeah, an easily understandable, everyone can grab a controller and like play a Mario platformer together in like a weird little bite-sized thing that's not us having to like stay on the same screen as we like try to platform through a level. So yeah, I'm hopeful that is a positive experience.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, Mark, let's close this out. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Mark, if our listeners have any predictions of their own or anything like that they would like to share, things that we missed that are coming out this year on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, they should email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com, or hang out with us in the Discord and talk about it there. Thank you so much to our 16-bit patrons, Connor McCabe, Patrice Millette, Kyle Seaborn, and Drew Mackey. We appreciate you and everyone who is interacting with us or listening or whatever on any platforms. It means a lot to us that you do that. Join our Discord. You email us, and then I will email you back. It has to start with you emailing me an invitation, then you can be in there and chatting with us. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.